What if I dared you, right now in this breath, to swallow the bitter truth that craving to be liked is the fastest, most guaranteed way to strip yourself of all power? That every single time you twist your spine to please, to be accepted, to be understood, you're not building bridges. You're handing over the keys to your empire. You're not earning allies. You're forging your own chains. Most people, 99% of the breathing population, spend their entire lives on their knees, chasing phantom nods of approval. They want to be the office darling, the peer group saint, the stranger on the street's fleeting smile. They want to be liked at work, respected by equals, admired by randos who wouldn't recognize them in a lineup. And for what? To feel safe in their skin for 5 seconds? To feel validated by a world that forgets their name by dinner? To feel relevant in a universe that doesn't even know they exist? But here's the blade-sharp truth Machiavelli carved into history with blood and ink. The man who needs to be liked is already a slave. Because whoever grants you that fragile pat on the head can, and will, rip it away the moment you stop performing. That's why the truly powerful are never loved. They are feared, respected, envied, sometimes despised. But liked? Never. Likeable screams safe, and safe men don't rule the world. They scrub its floors. They serve its coffee. They fade into the wallpaper of history. Machiavelli didn't stutter when he wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." He wasn't preaching cruelty for cruelty's sake. He wasn't some cartoon villain twirling a mustache. He was delivering clarity, freedom, surgical truth. To lead, to win, to rise, you must first make brutal, unshakable peace with being hated. Because the second you stop auditioning for approval, you become untouchable. You stop warping your truth to soothe fragile ears. You stop apologizing for your hunger. You stop trembling at the thought of being misunderstood, because you finally, fully understand yourself. And that kind of crystalline self-possession, it terrifies people. So they'll slap labels on you like stickers on a target: cold, arrogant, ruthless, toxic. But in the end, when the dust settles, when the empires are counted, when the history books are written, they'll brand you with the only word that matters: effective. Every man, every woman, every soul with ambition pulsing in their veins faces the same razor-edged crossroads. Be liked and become forgettable. Be feared and become unforgettable. The crowd will cheer the one who comforts them today, but they will follow the one who commands them tomorrow. The world pretends to worship kindness, but it secretly kneels to confidence, certainty, and dominance. The ones who rewrite the rules of reality were never the ones begging for love. They were the ones who stopped giving a damn. By the end of this manifesto, disguised as a video, a speech, a war cry, you'll know why being hated isn't a curse. It's a crown. You'll master how to become immune to opinion, how to earn respect through calculated distance, how to weaponize hostility into influence. Because once you stop fearing hatred, every room becomes your throne. Every conversation bends to your gravity, and every doubter, every hater, every whisperer in the shadows will feel it. That quiet, unshakable nuclear force of the human who no longer needs a single nod of approval. Let's begin. The desire to be liked is the most subtle form of enslavement. It doesn't come with iron shackles. It doesn't bark orders. It whispers. It tells you to soften your edges, to shrink your presence, to apologize for your strength. It convinces you that peace is a participation trophy handed out by strangers, and before you blink, you're no longer living by principle. You're performing for applause. Machiavelli watched this poison kill more men than swords ever did. He saw emperors crumble not in battle but in the mirror, obsessed with being adored. They traded fear for affection. They confused love with loyalty. And when the mobs they pampered turned feral, they discovered the brutal truth. Admiration is the most fragile currency in existence. One bad day, one refusal to bend, and it evaporates like breath on glass. The moment you start chasing approval, you stop commanding it. You become predictable, pliable, desperate to preserve the Instagram filter version of yourself others have curated. You lose the sacred word no. You stop making decisions based on truth and start making them based on perception. You sacrifice authority for acceptance and call it kindness. But here's the iron law. You cannot lead and be liked at the same time. You can comfort people or command them. Pick one, never both. The comforter gets instant gratification and eternal oblivion. The commander gets instant hatred and eternal remembrance. Machiavelli wrote that men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, and covetous. He wasn't being cruel. He was being honest. He understood that affection is conditional, but power is permanent. To seek love is to hand your survival to the whims of others. To seek respect is to keep it in your own fist. Look at the modern world. It's a likability industrial complex. It rewards smiles, agreement, hiding your fangs. It trains you to live on your knees, trading influence for comfort, authenticity for acceptance, purpose for validation. And still they never love you enough? Because love is a drug, and they're all addicts looking for the next hit. The Machiavellian mind breaks this cycle with a sledgehammer. He stops asking, do they approve of me? He starts demanding, do they obey my will? He learns love is voluntary. Respect can be engineered. Likability invites competition. Fear enforces boundaries. When you give up being liked, something alchemical happens. You become respected. People stop smelling desperation on you. They stop seeing a performer. They see a force. And even if they resent you, they move carefully. Because hatred is predictable. But the calm, indifferent sovereignty of a man who needs nothing, that's existential terror. To be liked is to be dependent. To be respected, feared, or even hated is to be free. And in the pursuit of power, freedom is the only emotion worth keeping. Kindness without strategy is suicide. The world teaches you that kindness is strength. That if you're good, patient, and fair, people will mirror it back. But Machiavelli saw the trap. Unguarded kindness becomes a leash. Because kindness creates expectation, and expectation creates control. The more you give without boundaries, the more people believe they're entitled to take. And when you finally resist, when you draw a line, they don't thank you for your generosity. They hate you for the limits. This is the curse of the good man. He believes he's loved for his virtue. In truth, he's tolerated for his usefulness. The moment he stops serving comfort, affection vanishes. The same mouths that praised him twist into condemnation. Not because he changed, because he stopped being convenient. Machiavelli watched this in the courts of Florence. Noblemen destroyed by their own decency. They thought mercy bought loyalty, fairness bought peace. But in the game of power, mercy without strength, invitation to betrayal. Fairness without authority, mere illusion. Good men are easy to manipulate because they fear being seen as cruel. Every opportunist knows. Appeal to his conscience. Control him. Make him feel owed. He obeys. Guilt him for no. He serves. In the name of kindness, he chains himself. The Machiavellian mind rejects this wholesale. Kindness has value only when it's a choice, not a reflex. He gives without guilt. He forgives but never forgets. He helps without losing command. His kindness is deliberate, a tool of influence, not a debt of morality. He understands the paradox. Stop needing to be seen as good. Finally do what's necessary. Stop protecting everyone's feelings. Finally protect your position. Stop trying to be loved. Finally be respected. People mistake cruelty for power. But Machiavelli knew uncontrolled cruelty or barbarism. Calculated cruelty or discipline. The world respects discipline far more than sentiment. To stay kind in a cruel world isn't wrong. To stay kind without strategy is suicide. Every ruler who tried to win through love alone was devoured by those he tried to save. Every leader who chose peace over power learned, peace lasts only until someone stronger says otherwise. The good man dies for ideals. The wise man survives by understanding them. Learn this. Be kind when it's advantageous. Be merciful when it strengthens your position. But never let kindness become your weakness. Because once people realize your compassion can be weaponized, they will. And they'll call it justice. Fear is not cruelty. It is clarity. Fear is not about screaming or swinging fists. It's the quiet understanding that men obey not because they love authority, but because they fear the cost of disobedience. Machiavelli didn't worship fear. He valued it as the most reliable foundation of order. Love depends on mood, fear depends on memory, and memory once etched by consequence does not fade. The man who chooses to be loved walks a fragile tightrope. He must constantly feed affection through compromise, apology, self-sacrifice. The man who chooses to be feared walks on granite. Slowly, deliberately. His stability comes not from affection, but from respect laced with caution. The loved man is expected to please. The feared man is expected to win. The world always aligns behind winners. Machiavelli saw this define empires. Popularity rulers rose fast, fell violently. Calculated fear rulers endured, because fear anchors obedience long after admiration dies. You may stop loving a man who disappoints you, but you will not defy a man who can punish you. This isn't cynicism, it's realism. People are not inherently loyal. They are self-interested, emotional, inconsistent. Love bends with the weather. Fear survives every season, but fear has laws. Fear without respect and rebellion. Fear with respect is order. Fear to humiliate our enemies. Fear to enforce clarity, stability. A ruler must never be cruel for pleasure. He must be firm for purpose. Modern men botch this. They think feared means aggressive, loud, intimidating. But true fear is quiet. It lives in discipline, not chaos. Calm certainty that disrespect, disobedience, manipulation will not be tolerated. The man who radiates that calm, who punishes without anger, rewards without emotion, creates an aura others instinctively obey. That's Machiavelli's aura of necessity. When your actions feel inevitable, resistance feels unnatural. To be feared is to be trusted in a darker, deeper way. They may not like you, but they will follow you. They may resent you, but they will depend on you. Because fear creates structure, and structure creates peace. The paradox. The feared man brings more order, more justice, more peace than the loved man ever could. So stop trying to be liked. Stop begging for agreement. Stop softening your edges for approval. When you carry yourself with authority, the weak call it arrogance. The wise call it certainty. And when you are feared for your strength rather than loved for your submission, you finally understand what Machiavelli meant by power. Not control over others' emotions, but control over your own image. The man who commands fear commands permanence, and permanence is the only form of safety worth having. Hatred is not a curse, it's a mirror. Hatred doesn't destroy you. It reveals how much influence you truly hold. The powerless are not hated, they're ignored. Only those who disturb the balance of comfort earn hostility. Machiavelli understood. Hatred is not failure. It's presence. If you live without opposition, you've done nothing worth noticing. You've disturbed no one, challenged no system, threatened no cozy illusion. That's the ultimate proof your existence carries zero weight. Every great figure in history was hated before respected. Jesus, loved by the poor, despised by the powerful. Napoleon, adored by soldiers, loathed by kings. Steve Jobs, worshipped by fans, feared by employees. Elon Musk, memed, mocked, and mythologized. Reformers, conquerors, thinkers who shifted reality. They all faced venom before praise. Why? Because people hate what exposes them. They hate what forces self-reflection. They hate what refuses to bend to their delusions. To be hated is to be seen clearly. Your presence forces confrontation with envy, inadequacy, fear. Their mediocrity resents your excellence. Their weakness resents your discipline. Their cowardice resents your certainty. They turn discomfort into contempt, pretending it's moral when it's personal. The Machiavellian mind doesn't fight hatred. He studies it. When someone hates you, they've admitted your power over their peace. They've confessed you are the gravitational center of their attention. Hatred is never pure. It's mixed with fascination. Your enemies watch you closely. They imitate what they condemn. They talk about you endlessly, obsessed with your downfall, because they need you to define themselves. Without someone to hate, their lives lose structure. The secret: hatred is proof of relevance. Machiavelli warned, never seek universal love. It's fragile and false. It vanishes the moment you refuse to please. But hatred properly earned lasts. It becomes a reputation, sharp, durable, unforgettable. People may hate you, but they calculate their moves around you. They adjust behavior in your presence. They respect the danger of crossing you. And that respect is worth more than affection ever will be. So when you feel contempt, smile. It means you've become significant. When they gossip, let them. Your name has weight. When they try to destroy you, they've already failed. Destruction requires acknowledgement, and acknowledgement is power. The hated man, if he remains calm, becomes untouchable. He doesn't react to insults. Hatred feeds on reaction. His silence becomes judgment. His indifference becomes domination. In that stillness, his enemies burn themselves to ash. The goal isn't to be hated for cruelty or arrogance. The goal is to be hated for being unyielding, for refusing to bow, apologize, or conform. To be hated for truth, strength, clarity. That kind of hatred purifies your circle, exposes your enemies, forges your reputation in fire. The loved man is easily forgotten. The hated man is remembered forever, and in the end, legacy is built on resistance, not love. Familiarity breeds contempt. Distance breeds awe. Familiarity spawns comfort. Comfort spawns weakness. Weakness spawns contempt. Machiavelli warned rulers centuries ago, never make yourself too familiar. When people think they understand you, respect dies. When they see you too often, fear dies. When they know your thoughts too easily, your words become cheap. Power dies in exposure, not defeat. The man who wants to be loved surrounds himself with everyone. He shares plans, doubts, emotions. Believing openness builds connection. But openness is an invitation to intrusion. The more you reveal, the more they consume. The more they consume, the less they respect. Mystery is the oxygen of authority. Without distance, you suffocate in others' expectations. The Machiavellian mind uses distance like a sculptor uses shadow, not to hide, but to define shape. To create awe, be seen less often. Be seen on your terms. Let your silence make people wonder. Let your absence feel like punishment. Look at every figure who commanded respect. Kings in thrones, not taverns. CEOs in corner offices, not cubicles. Artists who vanish after dropping masterpieces. They stood slightly apart, visible but unreachable. Words scarce. Attention earned. Presence rare enough to feel sacred. Distance turns ordinary gestures into symbols. When they spoke, people listened not just to words, but to the silence that followed. You can't be powerful if you're always available. You can't be respected if you're always explaining. You can't be followed if you're always walking beside. People admire what they cannot fully touch. They follow what they cannot easily possess. Machiavelli called this the art of necessary distance. The prince must be close enough to understand his people, far enough that they never forget who he is. Too much distance, rebellion. Too little, irreverence. Strike balance, know them. Remain unknowable. In the modern world, distance is a superpower. Everyone overshares thoughts, emotions, weaknesses for attention. The man who resists becomes magnetic. Restraint, curiosity, silence, speculation, mystery, myth. Distance isn't loneliness. It's architecture. It builds height around your image. It reminds the world your time is rare. Your energy is rare. Your presence is rare. Rarity breeds value. Withdraw from the noise. Let others overshare. You remain quiet, deliberate, selective. Your attention becomes a prize. Your approval becomes a currency. Master distance. People speak your name even when you're not there. They imagine what you're thinking, planning, where you are. That imagination works harder for your reputation than your presence ever could. The man who can step back without losing influence is the man who never truly leaves the room. Every powerful man needs an enemy. Not because he loves conflict, but because hatred organizes chaos. It gives the crowd something to aim at. That isn't him. Machiavelli understood. If people must hate, guide their hatred. If they must blame, give them someone to blame. If they must burn, hand them a torch, but control where it falls. The naive ruler wants universal love. He pleases everyone, offends no one. Result? Suspicion. The crowd doesn't trust the man who agrees with all. They crave division. They need villains to define their heroes. People unite through opposition. Without something to hate, they turn on each other. Without someone to blame, they blame their leaders. The wise ruler keeps a scapegoat close, a distraction, a lightning rod for emotion. The enemy becomes the necessary sacrifice for stability. But here's the dark secret. Sometimes you must become your own scapegoat. Let the crowd hate you, deliberately, strategically, safely. Because hatred, when directed properly, becomes armor. They project frustration onto you. You absorb the tension and stand unmoved, becoming the symbol of power they cannot touch. They hate you, yes, but they depend on you to hold the structure together, and they respect the one strong enough to bear their anger. Machiavelli saw, the wise ruler doesn't waste energy cleansing his image. He lets them call him cruel, ambitious, manipulative. While they whisper, he governs. Their hatred keeps them focused outward, away from rebellion. It's not morality that holds a nation, it's management of emotion. The same applies in smaller arenas. Work relationships, ambitions. If you're doing anything significant, someone will need you to be the villain in their story. Let them. The fool fights to change every opinion. The wise man chooses which lies are useful. A clean reputation is fragile, easily stained. A controversial reputation is untouchable. It cannot be ruined further. It can only be feared. Decide your peace. Fragile peace of being liked demands obedience to others. Durable order of being understood demands mastery over perception. Hatred, when accepted, becomes a shield. Stop fearing slander. You've lived through it. Stop defending. Defense implies guilt. Stop explaining. Power never explains. It defines. When the world turns against you, do not beg forgiveness. Let them hate. Let them talk. Let them scream your name with venom. Each word keeps you alive in their minds. As long as they cannot ignore you, you remain powerful. Hatred properly directed is not destruction. It's recognition. The man they hate today is the man they will follow tomorrow, once they need his strength again. The greatest prison is built from opinions, not laws, not walls, not chains. Opinions, the fear of them, the need for them, the obsession with how others see you. That's what keeps most men small. Machiavelli saw it. The desire to be admired is the shortest path to control. The moment you care how others perceive you, you serve their perception. You adjust words, tone, choices to protect an image that doesn't belong to you. You become a servant of approval and call it strategy, but it's dependence. The Machiavellian mind builds a fortress no opinion can breach, praise or insult. the world will misjudge the man it cannot manipulate. So he stops correcting, explaining, defending. Misunderstanding becomes armor. Indifference is not apathy. It is dominance. When no one can move you with words, they lose control. When you crave no validation, manipulators lose leverage. When you ignore criticism, your silence becomes judgment. People measure their worth by your lack of response. Machiavelli. Reputation should be used, never served. Shape it when it serves power. Ignore it when it threatens peace. The weak maintain image. The strong build reality. When people talk about you, admiration reveals what they envy. Hatred reveals what they fear. Silence reveals what they cannot understand. Opinions lose their sting. Indifference is understanding why you shouldn't care. The calmest men are immune. They don't fight the storm of judgment. They stand above it, knowing no rumor, no insult can touch the man who defines himself. In the modern world, approval addiction is an epidemic. People build lives on likes, praise, validation. They call it connection. It's addiction. They mistake visibility for value. Chasing relevance, they lose reality. Do the opposite. Detach. Disappear from others' eyes until your value speaks for itself. Stop chasing validation. It chases you. Stop explaining. Silence becomes mysterious. Stop needing understanding. You become unshakable. That is the fortress of indifference. A mind so disciplined, external noise becomes meaningless. A composure so complete, judgment feels like wind against stone. Do not silence the world. Let it shout. Argue. Project opinions like arrows. You don't dodge. You stand still. When you remain unmoved, you teach a truth the world never forgets. No one can control a man who does not need to be liked. No one can destroy a man who does not fear being hated. The final step. Indifference to being loved. The man who no longer needs affection cannot be controlled by it. Machiavelli saw rulers beg for approval only to become prisoners of it. They softened strength to stay admired, lost both love and power. The crowd's affection is a storm, comes fast, fades faster, obeys no master. The wise man stops chasing it. To be hated for truth is better than loved for weakness. Hatred earned through strength is cleaner than false praise. It means you've made a mark. Your presence disturbs the fragile, exposes the cowardly. Nothing threatens mediocrity more than a man who doesn't beg to be liked. When you reach that point, stop asking, "Why do they hate me?" Start asking, "What does their hatred reveal?" Contempt is proof of relevance. No one hates the insignificant. Machiavelli didn't teach men to seek hatred. He taught them to survive it, to wear it as proof they've risen beyond dependency. Once you no longer need love, every manipulation dies. Flattery fails. Insults fail. You become the rarest thing, unmoved. Hatred clarifies who you are, who never deserved access. It purges weakness from your circle, strips illusion from your identity. Endure it without bending. Discover something extraordinary. The noise fades. Opinions vanish. In that silence, you hear one voice, your own. That is the final Machiavellian victory, to no longer chase approval, to no longer fear rejection, to walk through love and hatred with the same calm expression. To know indifference, not affection, is the true mark of power. Because the man who no longer needs to be loved has already conquered himself. And a man who commands himself cannot be ruled by anyone.